My job for the most of this week is to gather as much waste material and spent compost as I can find to put in the base of the raised bed that we built last week. And I'm going to start by emptying my potatoes out. They've been ready for weeks and weeks and weeks now. I just haven't had the time to tip them. I have actually no idea if there's any in there, to be fair. I think these ones are Pentland Javelin, but I'm not entirely sure. I've lost the label, needless to say. But not looking too bad. I'll give them a wash off and they'll make a couple of meals for us. This cucumber is finished. There are a couple to harvest, but once I've taken those, I can chop up these leaves and they can go into the compost as well. I'm happy to put food waste in, but not cooked food because I don't want to attract any vermin. These are the prunings I did in a couple of videos ago. They're a bit wet now, but all of this can go in. It will rot down. Even the conifer. I know people worry about it being too acidic, but it's going to be covered in fabulous topsoil, so it'll be fine. One thing to bear in mind, of course, is that this stuff will rot down. So you will end up having next year to top up the beds with your topsoil or compost. Old turfs are perfect, but you should try, if at all possible, to put them green side down because they'll rot better. We have also got some rotten apples and compostable things that I've been having in my council compost bin, but not cooked food. It is just raw stuff. Is it just me, or does that look really pretty? Kind of autumnal. This stuff is wool, which comes in my dog's food, or as frozen food, so they get packed with this wool insulation. This one's a bit manky, otherwise I would keep it for insulating pots, but it is compostable. Actually, I'll be amazed if it's still there tomorrow, because birds love it for nesting material. I oddly don't feel so sad about emptying pots and cutting back this year because it's going to good use. It's not just the end of the season. And of course this has the added bonus of smelling delicious. How are you two this morning? Would you like a chew? Would you like a chew? You've been good girls? I don't know. One for Bella and one for Bonnie. Off you go, good girls. Right, well, as you can see, Doug started the digging. After me filling yesterday, I wasn't quite sure how much to put in because it's a fine line between having not enough in and too much in to take the soil, which is what we built it for, to move the soil. And oddly, despite having a week worth of rain, which in fact this much worth of rain in a week, it was empty when I put it there the other day, the soil's not that wet, but it is quite compacted and lumpy, so he's not only having to dig it, we're having to bash it as well. He's about halfway through the first bed, I would say. And we've got this much soil in already. Actually, I'd say he's well over halfway, because obviously we need to level this ground. In case you're new to the channel, we are building a new greenhouse here, and we need to level this area and remove some of the slabs. We also took delivery of 2 large bags of topsoil, so if this doesn't fill it, well, I'm hoping it won't, to be honest, because I want to put the good topsoil on the top, so I've got a nice depth of planting for whatever, fruit, vegetables, herbs, and we'll come to that later. As soon as we finish building it, I'm going to start planting it. While Doug's getting on with that, I am going to finish transplanting some of the seedlings from the seeds I sowed a couple of weeks ago. So the bed is going to have some chard, some kale, which is outside hardening off, some spinach and some pak choy. And then I have got a delivery of garlic and onions coming later, but these can go in as soon as we've finished filling up. Done a few chard. I will plant these directly into the ground, but these ones are my backups basically. So if something eats the ones in the garden, I'll have a few spares to fill in any gaps. To be fair, I sowed them a little bit too thickly, even though I tried not to. I think this is supposed to be a mixed colour, but they mostly come up green. The coriander and the basil have both taken off really well. The coriander is really old seed, at least 3 years out of date, so I'm quite surprised it's germinated at all, to be honest. Looking great. I have sprinkled a bit of slow release fertiliser on this soil. We think that's enough of the dirt moved. After a quick tea break, we will be starting on the bags of topsoil that we bought. I'm not sure whether we've got enough, to be honest, but I'm going to start at one end, fill one end up as high as I need it. It's really good friable stuff, this. I'll get the rake actually and rake it over. There are a few little stones, but not many. It's mostly dirt that's compacted together. Alright, there we go. We've used both bags. It's not as full as I would like, especially at that end. Somehow we got this end fuller even though it was the same size bag. We probably could have put a little bit more waste products in the bottom, and we probably could have shoveled a little bit more soil from over there, but it's hard to judge until you do it exactly how much you need. As you can see, Doug's made a start on lifting the slabs, and they're the big old sort of concrete ones. So he's lifted up the ones where the greenhouse is going to be positioned, all bar the last 4, but they are really heavy. So yeah, we're making progress, eh Bonnie? Making progress. What do you say, Bells? We're making progress. Now the last job I have to do is top it up with some compost, because there wasn't quite enough soil. I don't know about where you are in the world, but the calendar seemed to turn around onto September and we were instantly into autumn. The weather has been fairly wet. Mind you, we've had a very, very dry summer. Starting to look like it's going over. I mean, we've still got a lovely amount of cosmos, and dahlias are still flowering their heads off, and will continue to do so, I think, until the frost comes. So these buds that I showed you last week have now all opened and they look fabulous. We have still got a few roses, but we are coming to the end of those as well. Gertrude Jekyll still flowering her head off. The grass is looking amazing now. It's starting to turn its beautiful orange colour. I have been gifted some fabulous little plants, which I need to find homes for. We have got a lovely little blueberry here, so I need to find her a pot, and I've bought some ericaceous compost. We've got a thornless blackberry, We've got a twisted hazel and a dog ball and a dog face and a couple of cardoons here, so they can go in the herb garden eventually. But there's a ball for Bonnie. Let's throw that. Here you go, Bon. Are you ready? Are you steady? Go get it. And as yet, I still haven't got around to planting my woodland, but that's going to come up next. But look at this Mahonia flower. Isn't that beautiful colour? I want to get them in before, while in autumn, while the ground's still warm and damp. You're inspecting my work, Bonbon. The foreman says it's okay, so we can proceed. My dad very kindly gave us what was left of his weed barrier from his allotment. So we're going to make use of it and then use the rest of the gravel to edge this side of the path. And because all the slabs that were down here were lovely riven slabs, like the ones around our house, so Doug's lifted them out. Hello, you two. Right, well, the sun has finally come out. Today is now Tuesday, and it's set to be it looks like, according to the weather forecast, the only dry day we're going to get. And it has already had a little shower. But I'm out while the sun's shining, and my intention today is to get that planting done. I brought out some seeds as well because I've got radish on my plan, but I have also brought out Mabuna, which isn't on my plan. So I make a plan and then I go off-piste almost instantly. So as I said before, I think we've got spinach, pak choy and some kale to get in the ground so they can go out on the raised bed. What I've also done is I've made a little planting plan. Next door's chickens are having a bit of a moment. Made a planting plan on the Grow Veg planner. If you've never used it, it's worth a try. You can get a free trial. I've been using it for over a year now, and I think it's really useful because I invariably forget what I've planted where, or and I don't do proper successional crop rotation, but it is quite useful to remind me what went where and whether it worked or not for future reference. So I have drawn a little plan. I'll put it on the screen now so you can see what my plan is for this new bed that we've built. Just one thing while I'm in here, I only transplanted these on this video a couple of days ago. Look, they've already got proper leaves coming. And these ones have come up, cornflowers. I don't think they're doing anything yet. They're Nigella, but the other Nigella took quite a long time to germinate, so I'm not panicking yet. And the larkspur, which I thought was, doing nothing, has actually come up, so I'm really pleased about that. So right, let's get this kale out and we will start planting. These have been hardened off for a few days outside. Right, now having shown you the plan, I'll probably go completely off-piste. And I never ever plant things to the proper spacings, which probably explains why the majority of my plants don't get as big as other people's. But these pak choy are looking quite healthy, I think. It's saying 3 to all this space, but that's just ridiculous. I'm not going to get great big enormous heads. I just want tasty leaves, so I'm going to plant probably 4 or 5 of each colour. Obviously I know that this compost is good because it's all brand spanking new. Make a little hole, gently separate these out if I can. Oh god, I hate gloves. Anybody else with me on that one? Even these ones, which are my favourite ones, Showa 7Ms I wear, you still can't feel anything. So if I can get these apart without breaking the roots too much, I will get them in the ground. Now then, pak choy. joy are part of the brassica family. So cabbage whites and such like, love them. Right, how far apart? I think we will get them apart and give them at least a hand span, I always think. I can pop the spares on into plant pots just in case any of these fail. But there we go, label. But I'm going to do the same thing, a hand span apart, and put some of the white ones in now. The next thing on my plan is a row of radish. Now, I'm not a big radish eater, but they're there in this position because they're a companion plant. So I'll just wet the trench, space them apart to save thinning later. Gap at the end there. There we go. And I'll just cover them back over. My seed packet's blowing away in the wind. It is quite breezy today. And of course I need to label because I'll forget where it is. Next on the plan is spinach. I'm not going to plant them too far apart, and I'm not going to bother with splitting them up too much. As I say, 1200 wide beds are just wide enough for me to reach comfortably in the middle without having to break my back or stand on the beds or anything like that. It's a nice sunny day for them to come out and be planted in their final place, eh? A lovely row of spinach. Fabulous. Next is the kale and then the chard. Now obviously it's very late in the season for kale. I'm not expecting these to grow into very large plants, but they will survive the winter hopefully, and they're very winter hardy plants. Should get some nice fresh green leaves early in the season before anything else is ready, so if nothing else they'll be worth it for that. And if I can get a few leaves off them this autumn, then I'm going to give that a slightly bigger span, because if they do take off, they do turn into quite big plants. Do firm them in, because they will rock in the wind once they get too big. So my plan was showing maybe 6 kale plants in 2 rows, and I've just put 5 in 1. But hey, it's freed up an extra line of space, so I might actually put some Mabuna in now. I've got some seeds. These are from Real Seeds. They are organic Mabuna Oriental Greens, and they're a cool weather plant and usually sown for midsummer for an autumn early winter crop. So it's not a rocky soil, it's brand new topsoil and compost, so they have no reason to fail. These are little tiny black seeds, so they're going to be hard to see, but again, I don't want to over sow them. I'm aiming for about half an inch to, an inch apart, but failing dismally by the looks of things. Right, that'll do. We'll just gently cover them over. Right, chard next. Chard seedlings. These are bright lights, so I've got red, looks like orange stem there. A couple of them have got white stems, so I'm going to try and get a varied colour, just because they look pretty, not because they taste any different. And then I'll do it about there, same as the kale, I think. Give them a little bit of space. Although it's gone a little bit dark and cold, so I think the rain is coming back. I'm nowhere near as far down the bed as I should be. Apparently, after the chard, I should be about level with the second pane of glass in the greenhouse, so I'm about half a bed short there. I think I'll sow some lettuce. It's spotting with rain. I have got some salad bowl babies that I can put out, so I might have to leave you for a minute while the rain comes down. Right, as you can see, The rain lasted a few minutes, sun's back out, just enough time to make myself a cup of coffee and have a look to see what I can fill in the space that I've left. So obviously the rest of the bed is destined for garlics and onion, which haven't arrived yet, but I'm going to put in some everybody's favourite calendula for something pretty. I'm also going to put in some spicy mixed leaf salad. It doesn't say you can plant it now, but it's still warm and damp, so it should grow. I'm also going to put in some spring onion guardsmen because they are winter hardy and they should do okay in here. So Bella is just looking at the hedge because the chickens are the other side of it. Is there any chickens there? Have they laid you a little egg? Have they laid you a little egg? We need to pick up some of these apples as well, eh? The next door neighbour very kindly said that we could help ourselves to their Bramley apple, which is in the front garden, so we tidied up the ones that had fallen for him. And yeah, we've made some apple crumble so far, but there are still thousands of apples. It's been such a good year for fruit. And apparently this apple tree behind me, which is in his garden as well, has never fruited before, and it's been there for years and years and years. So it's now covered and they're all over the floor. But anyway, they're eaters, so I'm going to pick a few of those as well. Okay, that's them in. Just need a label. Next to them, I'm going to put in some of these salad bowl leaves. It's so lovely being outside in the sun at this time of year because there's still some warmth in it. There are a few grey clouds, but you know, you can't have everything, eh? Calendula Touch of Red mixed. They're very distinctive seeds, calendula. I dip a little hole and do them at least 6 inches apart, I think, roughly. A row of spicy salad leaves to go, and then I'm going to move on to the other side because the rest of this bed is going to be garlic and onion. Water those in, Bonnie. Keep your nose out. Now, if you watched a few weeks ago, you'll remember I was pinning down the baby runners from the strawberries. I'm not entirely sure they will have rooted and... Oh, who am I kidding? Look at that. So I'll take that back. They have rooted. I was just intending to plant the babies I took last year. But if they've already rooted, which it seems they all have, I will detach them from their parent and plant them all. I can't do this bit yet because I need a little bit more compost. But from this post onwards, I can plant strawberries all the way down here. Detach the baby. There's another one in here somewhere. Also with fabulous roots. That's amazing. I can't believe how quickly they've actually rooted. So I'm thinking if I do this, that should be enough. I had them quite close together in my previous garden. I had a bumper crop. So I spaced them out quite neatly, but what I've just noticed, I cut back last year's babies quite hard after they'd fruited, and blow me if they haven't actually got a second flush of fruits and some flowers just over there. I'll just get them in. That's got a really good root system considering they've only been in these pots for 2 weeks, hasn't it, Bon? Oh, there we go. Strawberries are just pulled up the dirt for this one. But I will go and get some more compost now and fill this up to the top and finish planting all the way to the end with strawberries here. But I'm really pleased with those. They've come out really well. Well, I'm really pleased with what we've achieved this morning. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. Thanks for joining me. See you next week.